You may have heard about the Johns Hopkins study claiming more than 250,000 people in the U.S. die every year from medical errors. Other reports claim the numbers to be as high as 440,000, but even 250,000 people per year is substantial. Now, if those numbers are even close to correct, that would make it the fourth leading cause of death for Americans behind heart disease, cancer, and COVID. And this isn't even for surgeries, but just medical errors. Here to talk with us about this topic is Jack Gordon, a board-certified trial lawyer. Good to have you back.
A pleasure to be here with you, Al. And you're right, the numbers are incredibly high. In all fairness to the medical profession, the doctors and the nurses and the fine hospital staff, they truly are doing God's work. But there are so many people who are receiving not merely necessary surgeries and necessary treatment, but also elective treatments. And just the sheer number of people who are seeking some type of medical guidance demonstrate that even with a small percentage of bad apples or small percentage of errors, the hundreds of thousands of people who are going to be affected are unfortunately going to be adversely affected. And think about it this way, you know, a doctor can be a great doctor, a football player can be an unbelievably great quarterback, but every so often might throw a ball where he's not supposed to. Really probably shouldn't have thrown that ball into triple coverage. And the same holds true with doctors. Every so often, again, not by virtue of intention, but something is missed, something is unfortunately not diagnosed on a timely basis, or misdiagnosed, or again, damaged during the course of some procedure that's otherwise being performed.
Yeah, and you need a lawyer to be able to walk you through the situation and they can represent you.
It's tough because the medical profession is truly insulated by the laws. The medical malpractice laws were not designed to protect patients and consumers, but rather to insulate the physicians. And it is a very, very burdensome claim to assert. Unlike simple negligence cases where you can merely file a lawsuit before you can even place a doctor on notice that you suspect he or she has done something wrong, there's a significant pre-suit due diligence required where you have to garner testimony and affidavits even before placing the doctor on notice. So it is, unfortunately, it's a tough thing. But here at Manny Gordon, we've been doing a good job over the course of the past 35 years. What I say, keeping the doctors honest and hopefully improving the quality of care throughout the Tampa Bay area.
All right, there's one case that I want to talk about specifically. In 2017, a 6-year-old ultimately got ejected from class after he chose to kneel during the Pledge of Allegiance during his elementary class. And his mother, Eugenia McDowell, she filed against the school system. And now you've stated that you've chose to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. You decided to take this case, though. So talk about why you took the case despite your personal belief for it, and how much does personal belief actually dictate your actions as a lawyer?
Yeah, this is every few years I forget about the case and it keeps coming back. But it's actually one of the things that we are the most proud of. I do believe very strongly in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I believe in the national anthem. I believe in democracy and freedom and liberty. And the power, the real power, if you've ever been to a ball game and the national anthem is played and the jets fly overhead, the power and the patriotism is not in just the pomp and the circumstance. Rather, it's because tens of thousands of people have joined together in solidarity, individually, by free choice, not because they're made to do so by virtue of a governmental structure. Pledge of Allegiance is the same way, and I take that very seriously. The final refrain of the pledge is, remember, for liberty and justice for all. All means both those people who stand and those people who have the right to kneel and otherwise protest. That's the beautiful thing about free speech. If free speech means anything, it's the ability to express a view or an opinion that is not popular. And we have an obligation as citizens to protect that. You know, I do believe that it takes a village to raise a child. And if we are merely going to applaud conformity and condemn the minority, then we are doing a very significant disservice. We judge a society and we judge school systems by the types of students and citizens that they produce. And if, as lawyers, we stand idly by, we're complicit in crippling an entire generation of kids and the next people who are coming up. As lawyers, we take an oath to uphold the United States Constitution and to uphold the Constitution of the state of Florida. And the inalienable rights codified in those documents is not provided by the generosity of politicians or by governmental agency. That comes from the hand of God. And we take that stuff very seriously at Manny Gordon Trial Lawyers.
Definitely, you can see your passion in this for sure. So if you want to give him a call and you want to check out some more information, maybe you need an opinion, you can go to fightnegligence.com. The number is right there on your screen. Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure to let me talk. Thank you.
Yeah, we love it.